Hello to all the members and parents that are the foundation of Parents for Choice in Education. I am Donna Trimble, Executive Director. Bill 10, implemented into law as Section 16 of the School Act, has had the very opposite effect of its intended purpose. Ironically touted as anti-bullying legislation, it is now being used to bully schools and, through schools, Alberta families. Bullying is defined as the use of superior strength or influence to intimidate others to do what the bully wants. The Minister of Education has decided to harass Meadows Baptist Academy and Harvest Baptist School by way of an inquiry under the School Act. Normally, this process is used only in cases where there is evidence of financial impropriety or clearly dysfunctional governance. There is absolutely no evidence that any child in either of these schools at any time has not received the care needed, nor been provided with the education required. What was the terrible act that these schools engaged in? After over a year of requesting to meet with Minister Education in consultation to work out a sensible solution, the schools finally went public about their concerns. They have stated unequivocally that they cannot allow clubs to be developed in their schools that are in direct conflict with the faith foundations upon which these schools were developed. However, their concerns have gone unheard by Minister Egan. They have never received a meeting. They are now being slapped with a punitive inquiry process instead. Faith-based schools can and do and have provided care to LGBTQ youth in the province of Alberta. Prior to the passage of Bill 10, dozens of clubs supporting individuals from this at-risk community have been developed in schools across the province, including Catholic schools. Anti-bullying policies were already in place in every single school across the province before the passage of Bill 10. However, this law goes far beyond what is necessary to provide supports to at-risk youth, stripping school autonomy by imposing a one-size-fits-all approach to bullying in every single school setting across this province. Furthermore, the primary responsibility for the development of these clubs have been placed into the hands of students with no age limit, leaving principals and educators ultimately powerless to ensure that the activities that take place in these clubs are cohesive to the culture of the schools themselves and sensitive to the diverse perspectives of the families who attend these schools. These clubs must be established at every single school where one child requests them, regardless of the views of parents, teachers, principals, and parents. You need not be informed if a club is developed in your school, nor be told if your child has decided to attend such a club. If GSAs were merely neutral, anti-bullying support groups for students, there would be no issue whatsoever. No parent would be opposed to that. But under the student-driven premise, which is a false premise, the mentorship of students in schools have been replaced from parents, teachers, and schools to facilitators like Dr. Christopher Wells, who define these clubs as clubs meant to fight homophobia. This word, homophobia, has become equated directly with faith-based perspectives that hold sacred views about marriage and sex as being between one woman and one man. With this central motive of these student organizations, how can directors of faith-based schools comply with Section 16 of the School Act? it is quite obvious that this investigation is meant as a message, not just to the schools that have stepped forward courageously, but also to every single other school in the province of Alberta and every single other parent in the province of Alberta whose children attend public schools. This message is either follow the legislation or you will be slapped with punitive investigations using legislation as the sledgehammer. These schools were simply asking that they have the right to offer the education their families are seeking. No parent is being forced to access these schools. The coercion in this debate resides squarely on the shoulders of the government of Alberta through the Minister of Education. The government of Alberta and Minister Egan must stop using legislative tools to bully schools and parents across this province. Parents must be returned to their rightful position as the primary educators and caregivers of their children and must be aware of every single moment when their children are in distress for any reason in schools. Schools must be welcomed back into the discussion around anti-bullying policies in schools and be capable of and free to work with parents and children to ensure that all of the support systems in every single school are respectful of the foundations of the school while at the same time primarily supporting children in need. Education should be a partnership between schools and parents, with parents as the primary decision maker. As it stands today in the province of Alberta, parents have been completely circumvented, and schools are being put in the position of having to keep secrets from parents in order to comply with law. This is a fundamental stripping of freedom in the province of Alberta, and it is damaging to the families of Alberta. Please go to our website at www.parentchoice.ca and sign up for our newsletter. Please like our Facebook page at Parents4Choice. And please join Informed Albertans, a fantastic blog site where you can sign a petition in support of funding following children to the location that their parents choose as the best location for their children. Thank you.